and welcome back to another episode of Can You Game On It? Today in this episode, I want to feature something really cool. If y'all are cultured here in Southeast Asia, y'all would know my earrings. These are Indomie earrings, gotta represent. If you don't wear Indomie earrings, I'm just kidding. If you guys don't like Indomie, you guys aren't Southeast Asian. Disgusting. But anyways, nothing to do with that. But let's talk a little bit about today's product. Today is the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, the fan edition device of last year's Samsung Galaxy S21. S22 is almost here. I think it already is just announced, but I really want to talk about this phone first. But before we talk about it more, CK, do the intro. Alright guys, this is the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, and this is basically, I think a lot of people get excited about this particular device. It's a little bit cheaper than your average last year's phone, but it does come with better specs. It's kind of like the in-between of the new phone and last year's phone with a slightly smaller price point, which I think is really, really cool. And let's talk a little bit about the specs. Just so you know, in Malaysia, our Samsung devices does come with the Exynos chip, and this one comes with the Exynos 2100, which is super, I think it's actually a lot better than last year's in terms of heating. When we talk about this phone as well, what's really cool about it for gaming is 120 Hz refresh rate on the screen, which I really, really love. I think a lot of phones nowadays do have this, especially Samsung. If you're not having 120 Hz, you're gonna have 90. Either way though, are there a lot of games that support that? Not quite. But yeah, in terms of battery, 4,500 milliamps battery, 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM with a choice between 128 to 256 gigabytes of internal storage. I think there's a lot for everyone. Speaking of a lot, there's also a lot of colors. So yeah, I don't get it. Let me just rewind this a bit. Why is it that all the expensive phones, go back to the iPhones, like the 12 Pros and all that, the Pros, the really cool expensive ones, they all have these really boring boomer colors. And then you have these phones with the really vibrant colors, hello, I like the bright colors. Is it because I think like a 10-year-old? Absolutely. Do I want those ugly colors for the expensive ones? No! Give me more color, bros.
Not enough women in tech.
Not enough women in tech. CK said that. It was recorded. Put that in the video. Okay, let's talk a little bit about performance. That's just basically it about the specs. We know we can read all the specs on the screen, but how does it work? Okay, so playing 1 hour of Genshin Impact on this device, 30 FPS, high graphics. Okay, let me just say that on default, it's already on medium. We talked about this. Remember the Oppo Reno 6 Pro? We talked about last time. We were just going crazy out of my minds. Wow, this is on default medium. There's no lag when recording. Wow. Yeah, and we were oh, this phone is better than Samsung because Samsung can't even do that. Well, you know what? For this one, you can. I'm really excited to say that it finally caught up. Finally. So yeah, on default, it's already on medium, which is also already really smooth on 30 FPS, obviously. But I was curious. I was can I play this on higher? To be fair, on Genshin, there is a little slider on top which shows that if it's on smooth, balanced, or overclocked. If you hit the overclocked part, your phone's gonna be hot. Just saying. So yeah, I kept it on balance as much as I can, and I just want to say 1 hour of gaming on those specs, which is on high, as well as the highest brightness and 30 FPS, shaved about 17 to 20-ish% of the battery, which is honestly not bad. Okay, playing Genshin on this without recording on the phone. I just want to say smooth when you leave it on default. When you kick it higher, also still smooth. But I think one thing I'm really disappointed about is still the graphics. I don't know what it is about Samsung phones, is that while they do have the best displays on the market, but regardless of how much I kick up the graphics to be, it's not as sharp as the Oppo Reno 6 Pro, and I don't understand why. It has these feathered edges. I wouldn't say it's because of low graphics. I did kick up the graphics, but it's just not as sharp. I feel like Oppo Reno is something that's a little bit more sharp in terms of display, and I think it's a little bit more true to what you see on the PlayStation and on the PC and even the iPad Pro. So when we talk about Genshin Impact as well, I think a lot of devices always have this problem where it does get really, really hot. I wouldn't say it got super hot though. I think it just got warm warm to the touch would be the right word. Like got warm, like think about it as like you have like a warm beverage in your hand, that kind of warm, but not hot. I wouldn't say it's hot. If you are going to be playing on the default settings, which is medium, the heat is barely there. Like it is warm, but it's like, it's okay, it's negligible. But if you kick it up a little bit more, you are going to feel the heat. I don't think it's a bad sort of heat, but the heat is warm enough for me to worry about the battery life or even the device's life in the future. So watch out for that. Personally, for me though, playing on medium is already good enough unless you're like one of those connoisseurs that is super high graphics all the time. And I just want to ask you a question. Why are you playing on a phone? Okay, so that's Genshin put aside. Let's talk about like the other games on the market. Of course, we tried FPS games, and I'm really excited to say that for the first time ever, I've been wanting to try this game forever, and this is PUBG New State. I felt like PUBG New State actually warmed up the phone quite a little bit, but in terms of how fast and how smooth the game is, mwah, chef's kiss, so fast, so smooth, I love it. Now, MOBAs. As you all know, I love MOBAs. Mobile Legends Bang Bang, I just got into that. I spent 3 days and went from like the lowest rank all the way to Grandmaster. But that wasn't the game I tried. I tried Wild Rift on this though, and it's like so smooth like butter. I mean, I'd say this about every single device. It's Wild Rift. It's optimized. But whenever I kick it up to 60, there's always like, I will always say, oh, it gets really hot, you know, blah, 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 blah. But not really. This one, no, not really any heat, which is really nice as well. When it comes down to it, I just really want to say one thing. Overall, this phone is pretty good for gaming. And despite what my friend said about Snapdragon being better or whatever, personally for me, I don't think it matters. Not because it's better or anything, but it works. I don't see any lag, stutters. Oh, one thing though I do want to mention, for some reason though, I don't know if you noticed this, CK, but this cutout is kind of like a little bigger than other devices. I felt it didn't really bother me. I didn't even notice it. I looked at the side, I'm like, oh wait, this feels a little bit bigger than the old cutout displays that I've seen on other devices. Oh yeah, I really want to talk about charging as well. This device, from 0 to 100 took less than an hour. Like, it's really fast. The fast charging is actually really, really good. I highly recommend it. And definitely I could think, like, I just left this phone on idle. It stayed alive for like about 3 days before I needed to charge, before it just fully died. So yeah, absolutely. Question of the day is, can you game on the Samsung Galaxy S21 Fan Edition 5G? Yes, you can, and it does a hell of a good job. I think this is for a device that you just want to play games on, you just want some nice camera, you don't really do anything too fancy on it. I think this is a great device for you to game on. And honestly, if I'm out there in public on the train, I'll be so happy to play Genshin on this. And the thing is, because the back is like this, it's not like glass or anything, I don't have to worry too much about needing a case. And the colors are really nice. Like, if you're a young soul like me, or you're just like young in general, oh my god, I'm old. I think you'll really enjoy this one. But anyways, I'm Tash, and now Ye is out, and I'm gonna go pull her. Maybe I should do it now. I have a lot of primos.